broadcasting from across the North American continent of the Terran Empire, bringing you our unpopular Star Trek opinions since 2020. This is Code 47.
And we are back. Code 47 podcast on the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. This is episode 54. And this is going to be marginally bittersweet. Rich is leaving me, at least for the short term. He's going on vacation.
Yeah.
So hello, Rich. How are you?
How's it going? I'm good. I'm ready for vacation. We got 5 days before we leave, and
man,
it has been just work. I've got 2 podcasts of my own, and I'm trying to get them covered while we're gone, so we don't miss a week. And yeah, Charlie, you helped me on one of them. You helped me on a couple of them, actually.
Yeah. And I know we have another one coming on down the road once you're back. And
Forever Purge, your favorite movie of the summer.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. And then Rich is actually going to be moving off on his own and leaving me, which he and I talked about it several weeks ago. He's going to be moving on to kind of some of his own projects, and I'm going to be talking to another individual or individuals, depending on how things shake out, to have a more permanent co-host. Rich will be potentially coming back after his vacation to cover if that has not materialized. We did discuss that.
Yep.
But Rich will also be returning to us here on the show to cover occasional special episodes where we are talking about Trek comics, because that's something that we both employ. Like we're looking to welcoming back the Tipton brothers, or at least a Tipton brother, as I've maintained a relationship with Scott Tipton, to talk about the Mirror War comics. We read a 0 issue. Issue number 1 comes out next week, so we'll be able to come out next week. Yeah, so we'll
that was in our hopper for a while there. We've been wanting to do that, so I'm not going anywhere for that. So
gotcha. So we will plan to have you come back, maybe once a quarter to do something comic book related, or to talk about an old book or something. And to that point, we've actually modified the name of one of our segments, which we will get to a little bit later on in the show, moving forward. So you'll hear that shortly. But first and foremost, we jump in talking about the news. Now, front and center, New York Comic Con is going on this weekend. We're recording this on Sunday the 10th. So I assume that show is probably wrapping up today.
Yep.
But yesterday, we did get the first full 2-minute trailer for Star Trek Discovery Season 4. It was an action-packed deal. You got to see Captain Burnham in action. You did get to see the return of Captain Saru. You've got some controversial images, including a 32nd century Ferengi, which people are kind of losing their minds about, to whatever regard. But yeah, I mean, this was action-packed. It seems that the central theme has to do with something very Star Trek-y, which is a dangerous anomaly. Q Todd Extra. Q Todd Extra coming in and talking about space anomalies. But regardless, I'm very excited about the return of the show, which is has been off. Shows don't really follow the 3-month hiatus where you have a September to May schedule, and then they're back again in September. It's usually once a year. Or I'm trying to figure out, did this show was on earlier this year, so I guess I'm mistaken. It was ended in February, or did it start? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. Did we have Picard earlier this year and then Discovery? I would have to go back and check the calendar. So you might have to negate my previous statement, but regardless, this looks very exciting to me. And for all the people who are naysaying about the Ferengi design, my thought was, and I did post this on our group for the Grand Petoskey, of which the fan club chapter, of which Rich and I are both members, that if you think about 1,000 years in between, what did human beings look like 1,000 years ago versus what they look like now?
That's a good point.
Did we all look the same? I'm not saying that the change could have been this radical, but you're looking at this particular image of this Ferengi is, maybe he's 500 years old and he's wilted. I don't know, but you know what? Does not have my knickers in a twist and does not detract from my enjoyment, at least of this trailer. So, Rich, how about you? What are your thoughts and feelings about this?
Well, first of all, I didn't watch the trailer, so I apologize. I just didn't have time. But I will watch it before too long here. But I have seen the picture, and I haven't engaged in any of the conversation because I think for me, what happens, I think people shit on Discovery a lot, and
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not okay with that. So
they put them. Discovery has ostensibly since 2017 put themselves out on the furthest limb
right,
from the tree that is the Berman era of Star
right,
Trek that we had in the 90s into the mid aughts,
right.
and that's clearly terrifying to people.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't like change, and I think as soon as you get something like this Ferengi with this different look, people are going to shit on that too.
Yep.
And I mean, it didn't bother me because the way that I think about it, I just think about like Star Wars, to change gears there. You have a specific planet and it's all water, and you have a specific planet and it's all sand, and you got another planet and it's all lava, which
Star
works really
Wars.
well. Yeah, there you go. Star Wars, but which works really well in a cinematic
Right.
look, right? Because, oh, we're
Right.
going to the lava planet. Oh, we're
You're
going
there.
to the
Yeah.
water planet, right?
There
So,
and gone. There and gone. So
right.
and story moves on. Yeah.
But in a world building sense, it doesn't make any sense, right? So there have to be other biomes on those planets. They can't. I mean, Geonosis cannot be all like desert rock stuff, right?
Hmm.
But similarly, the people can't all look the same. There's not
Hmm.
just one species on Earth, right? We've got humans, we've got apes, we've got, tigers and lions and yada, 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 right?
Right.
So why is it that we assume that all Ferengi look alike?
Or
That's
Klingons.
or
That's the big
Klingons.
rub. The
That's
biggest
yeah,
rub.
yep, exactly. I mean, can you get more racist than all Ferengi look alike? Right? They
Oh,
all have to look the same, right?
right.
All Klingons have to look the same. Why? Because
Right.
they're easy to identify. It's shorthand, sure, but you can also have, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
if I can interject, if you can't really see, but this the map on the wall behind me
mhm,
is the alpha and beta quadrants from Star Trek.
right.
The biggest portion of the beta quadrant is the Klingon Empire, and it goes out on this map so far that it runs off the map. So
So
it's so big
yeah,
and filled with so many planets. How could you say that every resident on every one of those planets within the Klingon Empire looks exactly the same?
right. Yeah, they don't
How
all
could you say
have
that?
horseshoe crabs on their head. That some of them
Right.
look like the TOS ones, right?
Right. Exactly.
But so this doesn't bother me. This doesn't bother me in the slightest because there's always variety, and Star Trek is all about diversity. So if
Right. Exactly.
there's got to be diversity even within the Ferengi Empire or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's not the Empire, right? What is the Ferengi
It's the Ferengi Alliance. I'm
Alliance?
pretty.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, well, hold on. I can tell you by looking at this map uh, that I cannot make it out unless I get out my loop. So never mind. I
Ah,
believe it's called the Ferengi Alliance, but we can certainly
okay.
verify that.
We'll
So,
go with that. I mean
so
that works for me.
all
So
right,
yeah, this one didn't get my
that works.
knickers in a twist, so I'm good.
Good news. All
It
right,
looks
so
good. I'm ready for the new season. That's for sure.
most definitely new season drops on November 18, which is day of the
Ooh,
week would
that's so quick.
be.
That's so
I
soon. That's
know.
next month.
I know. Yeah, no, that was and that was information we got just on Star Trek Day.
Oh, that's
That is gonna again be a Thursday show, so that will
oh.
be on your Thursday viewing. So,
I'm so
well,
ready. Yeah,
cool.
though we'll get to watch one on Thanksgiving too. Then.
Ooh, there's something to give thanks for.
Oh
Some trekking.
yeah.
Good stuff. So, all right, moving along. We have news broke last week that Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, is jumping on an honest to god rocket into space through who's the rich jerk who's sending him up there? I
I
can't
think
keep
it's
Bezos.
Bezos. Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. So Bezos is sending him into orbit. And again, Kirk is Shatner is 89 years old. He's
90.
born in 90. Okay, yeah. So he was born in the 30s. Yeah, so
Oh
he's
no,
90.
wait, no, he will be 90 when he makes the trip, I guess.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
it's
Okay.
next year. So yeah.
It's next year. Okay, yeah, because he was born in 1932, I think. So there we go. So yeah, so he has a reaction that is not uncommon to, I think, Rich, and I don't want to speak for you, but maybe I'll just have a guess. If you found out you were going into space, I think I would be more a little bit freaked out. He's coming right out and saying it. And again, with his advanced age, assuming that he's with us by then, because 90 is, I mean, 90 is up there.
I
There's
misspoke.
no
They're
doubt about
actually going on the 12th. They're going on the 12th of this month.
it.
So
Okay.
they're going next week or this week. What the hell day is it? What day is it today?
It's Sunday the 10th.
Yeah, they're going 2 days from
Oh
now.
my! So he is wherever he is, and he's getting ready, and he's got his fancy spacesuit. But yeah, Shatner it was quoted as saying, "I'm terrified. I'm Captain Kirk, and I'm terrified. I'm not really terrified. Yes, I am. Oh my God, he's got it too much.
That sounds
It
like
comes
him. Yeah.
it comes and goes like a summer cold. I'm planning on putting my nose against the window while in space. My only hope is that I won't see someone looking back." You know what? I applaud him for his honesty, I think.
Yeah.
But
Don't bang any aliens while you're up there, Bill. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah, one keep your spacesuit on. So
Yeah.
I think this is fun. Obviously, it's a massive PR stunt for Bezos, like he needs,
It
that at all, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I'm of two minds on this. Like first of all, it's William Shatner going to space. So that to 12-year-old me, that is cool as hell, right?
Right.
But
But
but we're talking about billionaires spending billions of dollars to send rich people to space, and I have a problem with that. But I have to put that aside because 12-year-old me is like, holy crap, Captain
Captain
Kirk's going to
Kirk.
space, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
I'm
So yeah.
actually going to stop and see the monument where in Iowa on my way to Florida. I'm stopping to see the monument in Iowa to the future birthplace of Captain
Oh,
James
River,
Tiberius Kirk.
Riverside, Iowa.
Exactly.
The other one I would love to see is the Catherine Janeway statue in Bloomington, Indiana.
Right. Yeah.
That would be, yeah. And again, I would have to whip out my map to know exact, because I've spent time in Indiana, but I don't know that I passed by Bloomington, which I also think is the hometown of John Cougar Mellencamp. I could be wrong.
That doesn't matter. That whole state is basically John Cougar Mellencamp on the radio all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Next year when we're driving to Delaware next year probably, and I'm going to try and stop in Bloomington for that too.
I literally think this episode should be called John Cougar Melon Camp all the time. There we go. That'll be the stand-in in case we come up with something else. Oh my gosh.
Something else interesting about this article is the guy that talked him into it, this Jason Ehrlich guy, was in Sleepaway Camp 2, and Charlie, you still need to see the original Sleepaway Camp.
Oh my
you
gosh.
can stream it everywhere, dude.
Oxtra made me watch. What did we have to watch to talk about on SFU? He made me watch it, and then he sent me the RT score, which was in the cellar, and then we watched it yesterday, and we enjoyed it. And it was called The Final Girls.
I loved that movie.
I liked it too, but anyway,
good.
don't want to get too far afield.
Yeah, yeah.
So
but no, go see Sleepaway Camp, man. It's everywhere. You can stream it all over the place, free.
I
on
did.
Like Tubi and stuff.
I looked it up, and it was in one ear and out the other. So you just stay on me about that. I'll take care of it.
You're missing out.
This last one really fires me up because for many, many years in Ticonderoga, New York, which is in New York State somewhere, everybody thinks of New York and you think of New York City.
The city, yeah.
And then there's miles and miles of stuff that looks exactly like Minnesota or Michigan. It's just, so
farmland. Yeah,
that's where I'm going to assume Ticonderoga is like, near Schenectady or something. I have no idea. I'd have to look it up.
Schenectady. Yeah.
But regardless, they have for several years had a complete, faithful, accurate set creation of the bridge of the Constitution class 1701 USS Enterprise. Very cool, very exciting. But again, between you and I, Rich, you're the big TOS fan. I am like, I love the movies, and I love I love the movie sets. Like, sure. I would flip out if somebody built that Enterprise bridge. I'd be totally fired up to, finally get a monster maroon uniform and sit in that captain's chair. Yeah. But news comes out, and this article is from about a week ago, that the good folks at Ticonderoga are embarking on building a faithful recreation of the bridge of the Enterprise D from Star Trek: The Next Generation. I must see this. I have, as a costumer, I have many, many uniforms that would be era appropriate to sit on the bridge of the 1701D, because again, that's a design that went through several iterations of uniforms, you know what I mean? So I could wear, my TOS, my TNG Classic, or the 2-piece, or the DS9, or the this or the that. So it would be a dream of mine.
Yeah.
To, number one, find Ticonderoga, which will help me because I can do it through Google.
I found it for you, bud. I found it.
Oh, okay. Hit me.
It is north of Schenectady and Albany. Right.
Oh my God! I can't believe it. I threw out Schenectady just off the top of my head. I don't even know. I know where Albany is.
It is practically. It's literally a handful of miles from the Vermont state line.
So it's north and east.
Northeastern New York State.
Gotcha. And when you say Albany, Rich, as a Simpsons guy, what else does that make you think of?
Ah, boy, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know. What am I supposed to think of?
Do you remember was it 22 short films about Springfield, and
Oh, yes. Okay,
it
yeah.
was Skinner, and then he invited Super Nintendo Chalmers
Super
uh,
Nintendo Chalmers.
over to his house, and he set a fire, and he said something about steamed hams,
Yeah.
and he said, "Well, I'm from Albany, and I've never heard of steamed hams." Well, it's more of a you know what? I feel like I've screwed it up. He says it's more of a. It wasn't Skinner. It was more of a. Oh, I'm from Rochester. I never heard of that. Where it's more of an Albany expression.
Okay. All right.
So okay, just now found a better name for the episode. It's more of an Albany expression.
Okay.
It's more of an Albany expression. But regardless, I'm fired up about this. So this will be a future road tripping for me and potentially for others in our club. If we can get organized, that would be super fun.
So
Because
let me ask you this then: is there a connection between Ticonderoga and Star Trek: The Next Generation? Is there a
uh,
reason that this is there?
to me, I would simply guess, and I don't know if this article illuminates it any differently. I would simply feel that they're doing this to make it complementary to the set they already have.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, what's the draw there for Star Trek and Star Trek sets?
I don't know. I don't. That is a research question. That oh, here we go. Crawley, who I assume is the guy who runs it, and his team launched Replicate Original set in 2016. Though it's been a long-standing passion of his since 1997. So it sounds like it's potentially just a super fan who has always wanted to do this.
Okay,
Since then, there have been several iterations of the set in various locales, including his grandfather's barn and a car dealership. So
okay,
it just really sounds like he's a mega fan who is potentially a construction geek and likes
okay.
to build things. And
All right.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know if
good.
it was like the guy that created the Galaxy class was from Ticonderoga, New York, and that's why. Because I mean, the Bloomington, Indiana statue for Janeway, there's a
Oh,
reason for that. There's a reason for the
yeah.
Riverside, Iowa. I
I,
mean,
I I see what you're saying. That is there an in-universe
yeah,
explanation?
yeah.
One thing, and again, digging deep in the Trek Sherpa's brain here. Um, Jonathan Archer, captain
Mhm.
of the NX-01,
Right.
said that he grew up in upstate New York.
Ah, okay. Hey,
So
that's not
there,
a bad
there's
tie.
there's an in universe. They don't name a town,
Right.
but in headcanon, Rich, why don't we just say he grew up in Ticonderoga?
I'm all about headcanon. Anybody that
All
listens
right.
to my show knows that.
Oh yes. Well, I hope everybody listens to your stuff, Rich.
Me
And
too.
I'm going to let you do a plug at the end as you are taking a hiatus, so that people will tune into all the episodes that you've recorded
Beautiful.
for while you're gone.
Love it.
Well, good. So that is the end of the news. So now it's time to jump into talking, as we have very briefly this season, about Lower Decks. So we have hit episode 9. And Rich, you're not going to have the opportunity, unfortunately, to talk about the season finale.
Oh,
But
darn.
yeah, I know it's really going to break your heart. So
Wait, is that one you're doing with Paul?
it is not. No, and I was going to say Paul, who is Rich's co-host on one of his great shows, is actually going to be on for the next month. But we are doing kind of an abrogation. We're changing things around.
Okay.
That we're going to be doing something brand spanking new. I kind of don't want to spoil it because I really do.
No, don't
Want
spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I want people who are subscribed to this feed to just come on back and see the new thing that Paul came up with on his own. And unfortunately, I micro used one of the expressions a minute ago, but I'm not going to repeat it. But no, I really look forward to that. But no, when I was talking to Paul, he's like, "Yeah, I guess I would watch Lower Decks, but Scuttlebutt says that it's not great." I assume he's been talking to you or
Uh,
listening to our show.
that or he listens
Um,
to the show. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, and I said, you know what? Instead of just beating a dead horse and making you watch this season, which Rich and I have not liked it almost at all.
Wait. Hold on. You're gonna let the new guy off the hook for Lower Decks, but I've had to suffer through like a season and a half of this. Charlie.
I know. I know. There will be a reckoning. You want to you want to tread lightly and not piss off more people. So if I pissed off you and I can stop it there, don't you
No,
think
no,
that's
no. I'm not pissed off. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you.
well, I mean, you never can tell. Tread lightly dish. But anyway, just to blast through this episode real quick. This was very interestingly had a Klingon when the title card came up. It was written in Klingon, and the translation is Wajdu, I think.
You know what? We needed Erin for this one. We needed Erin for this one. She's moved on, but She would have been perfect for that. She can do a good Klingon. So
well, I will have to send her a note because we're talking a little bit later on today about some regional stuff.
there you
So,
go.
but regardless, this episode, let's see, their spoiler free review simply says that basically we are seeing a storyline attacked kind of in three different ways.
Hmm.
From seeing on the Cerritos, as we always do, they're on a 12-hour warp, which means they have some downtime. So you see the characters, trying to do recreational activities, but connecting with senior officers, always trying to kind of be bootlickers, which I don't necessarily think. It's kind of worn out at this point
Yeah.
because we've seen a lot of it this season. But you're also seeing kind of breaking in a new character on a Vulcan non-Starfleet vessel, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of cool that they revisit the fact that these other member worlds do still have their own, I won't say space military, but their own space force, as it were, space force. So that's kind of fun. And then similarly on a Klingon vessel, and connective tissue wise, the Klingon vessel storyline kind of plays back into the Pakled storyline because you end up seeing a little bit of, I know you're kind of rolling your eyes. I don't even have the screen up, but because I'm looking off into the distance, but I can feel you rolling your eyes. And
Yeah.
I understand. I
Fucking
understand and respect
Packlids.
that. I got
Jeez.
you. I got you. I know it's just the Packlids were literally in one episode of TNG, and it was early on, and it was just like, oh my gosh. And then so the third piece is on a Klingon ship, and again, I guess we're keeping it spoiler free at this point, but we'll bit bap a little bit, but still not awesome,
Yeah.
but massive improvement from what we
Well,
had a couple of
nobody
weeks ago.
shows their asshole to anybody, so I mean that's perfect, right?
I mean, if I could make nobody shows their asshole the title of this episode, I would switch it up that way. But I am trying
Sh-
to keep it. I am trying to keep it on the straight and narrow a little bit.
Make it nobody shows their a hole.
I will do that right now. And while I'm doing that, you keep talking. Okay.
Well,
So anyway, your thoughts.
okay, so the one thing that I got out of this episode, now what I've been trying to do is trying to find, because the comedy's not clicking for me, right? Because I don't
Right.
think Family Guy in space is funny. And I think Rick and Morty is funny, as I've said before, but I don't think Rick and Morty in space with Star Trek is funny. Just don't, right? There are other ways you can go about it. Look, Star Trek 4 did it right. Even Star Trek 3 did some comedy stuff right. Star Trek 5 did comedy stuff right. Star Trek 6 did
True.
comedy stuff right.
True. True. True.
TNG did comedy stuff right. This is a complete departure from the type of comedy that works for me with Star Trek, and it might work for other people, which is fine. But what
Right.
I've been trying to do is I've been trying to pull stuff that, since this is canon, since this is universe building, stuff that informs my viewing of other episodes. And what I've come up with this episode was they like you spoke about, they were on a 12-hour warp, so they had downtime. And
Mhm.
there is a point, and I think it's Boimler says, oh, what are you doing? What are you spending your warp on? Right? How are you
Right.
spending your warp? So like there's this concept and this conceit, because sometimes oh, we'll be there in a day and a half. We'll be there in you know 28 hours or whatever, right? 28 hours to
Mhm.
get from here to there. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, for 28 hours, what are you doing? You're not sleeping, and you're not all just like at, high alert or something. There's obviously other stuff. There's downtime. So there's room there for me to fill the gaps in my head as, Enterprise D is warping from, to Wolf 359 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, well,
Right.
what are they doing, right? In the meantime. So I like that. I liked that bit, because that gave me a nugget to work with, something
Right.
to chew on.
Mhm.
The rest of this was, seeing Klingon lower decks and Romulan lower decks and eventually Borg lower decks.
Now,
It's like
will say that April and I had a belly laugh at that. We found that funny.
the Borg one.
The Borg one. If and so much that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Borg one, I thought, oh God, what are they going to do with this? And then, of course, it's literally nothing. They're just sitting
Right.
there.
Right.
So that was okay. That was fine, and it was the end credits. So like that is fine, right? This,
Right,
showing your
agreed.
butthole to people is not funny to me. I mean, at least not like if Rick Sanchez is showing his butthole to somebody, that's something completely different. I expect that from Rick Sanchez. I don't expect
Right.
that from, you know,
So
Star Trek
a,
officers,
a
Starfleet
lot of
officers.
a lot of your disconcertion has to do with expectations subverted, but not in a way that you find enjoyable.
Right. I mean, because Discovery and Picard both subverted my expectations, but they did it in a way that bettered the franchise. And this doesn't better
Meaningfully,
yeah, this
meaningfully,
doesn't better the
yes.
franchise. This is just, frenetic, references to Star Trek stuff
And but and buttholes.
yeah, and dick and fart jokes. I mean, dick and fart jokes are not a bad thing. I love Kevin Smith movies. He's all about dick and fart jokes. I mean, Rick and Morty, same thing. I love Rick and Morty. I
Right,
think that's a hysterical show, but I don't
right.
think again, peanut butter, chocolate, I don't want them together in this particular scenario. So,
It's a lot of staying in your lane.
yeah. Yep.
It's a lot of staying in your lane, and when it doesn't happen, I will remark, and April has said this time and again. I love, and again, I'm somebody who is. I won't say I'm a fitness buff, but I do like to exercise. I love the Starfleet exercise gear. You have the wristbands with
Yeah.
the Delta chevron on them, and then there's a riff on and I actually have one because a friend of mine made one. I do actually have a shirt a sweat wicking shirt that I work out in that says disco,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah.
it's got the chevrons on the sleeve. The captain is wearing a Ritos
Yeah,
shirt, and she's
Ritos,
got
yeah.
I mean, I really, and then you see Mariners wearing the kind of the old school like Rocky boxing shorts that have the chevron on them. So I really dig it. So yeah, I look forward to that merch in the merch store, and I will buy it
Sure, yeah.
because I think that's super cool. So
Yeah, I
well,
gotta get a disco shirt, actually. I need one of those.
one of those, yeah. They do
Mhm.
have them in the regular Star Trek store, so
Yeah, yeah, I've seen those.
you can definitely scare that up. So, well,
Absolutely.
that means that we're kind of leaving Lower Decks behind because I don't necessarily feel like we're gonna touch that at the very least until you get back, Rich. And I'll kind of
Right.
leave that up to you. And again, Paul is going to be with me side by side over the next 4 episodes, and kind of embracing a new format of the show, and then we will inform on kind of what the show looks like when we get back. And Rich, you'll probably pop in for maybe one or two more, and then you're going to be
Yep.
off to your own destiny, which I
Yeah.
have much appreciation for. I think that the plans which you've talked to me about are pretty awesome. And again, if you are in a point where you want to talk about them at the end of the show, you're more than welcome. So
Yeah, we're not quite ready to reveal what's going on yet, but we will be
very good.
soon. Yeah, we'll be soon.
Well, you can certainly talk about what you've already got.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's bring the show to the final segment of the show. And again, Rich and I were talking in the pre-roll, and we've decided to retitle this segment as we move beyond just talking about episodes that have different social relevance and this and that. And what we've done, and you've seen in the last 2 episodes, is that Rich has a particular blind spot when it comes to Star Trek, that is Deep Space Nine, by his own admission. I'm not just making this
Yeah,
up.
no, absolutely.
Deep Space Nine and Enterprise.
Yep.
He's seen a handful of episodes. A lot of the ones he's seen have been because of his involvement with this program.
Mhm.
But moving forward into the future, as opposed to just putting ourselves in the social relevance kind of spot,
Mhm.
we want to make this a little bit more inclusive to not only move beyond episodes, but we'll potentially talk about a comic or something else. So segment 3, formerly known as Infinite Diversity, will henceforth, I feel like I'm talking like the Emperor, it will henceforth be the Galactic Empire. No, it won't. It will be called New Frontiers, which is based on, we kind of snagged that from a comic book that Rich and I talked about many episodes back,
Yep.
from
Yep.
the New Frontier series.
Yeah, the Peter David novel series that became a comic miniseries or 2 comic miniseries or something like that. Yeah.
I think it was 2.
Was it?
But and that's something fun that you and I can come back and talk about. We could have one episode in the future where we talk about that first arc that was the 4 micro books. I would
Yeah.
love to
Oh, that'd be
reread
great.
those, and I think I literally have them on either audiobook or on like the Kindle. But I will reread them. I will reread them for you, and let's
Yeah,
do that. We'll do
absolutely.
that sometime maybe before the end of the year.
Definitely. Well,
Um,
I had lost my copies, but when I went through my
right.
godmother stuff, she has
Right.
every book in that series.
Right. So
So
that's that much more reason to pick it up again. I like that
exactly,
very much.
exactly.
Okay, we will plan that for like November, December. We'll knock that out.
That sounds
So
fantastic. I'll bring them
I
with me
might.
on vacation and read them.
Oh, cool. I'll start reading them. I'll actually read them because the audiobooks are always abridged.
Oh, sure,
That's
yeah.
what they used to do. So I don't want to do that. So anyway,
Yeah.
for the sake of time, let's jump right back into it. So Rich, you said to me, pick great DS9 episodes that I've not seen before, and throw them at me. So I did, and so
Yep.
I gave you. I'm going to give the episode numbering, and then I'm going to let you say the one wants for yourself. This is Deep Space Nine, season 7, episode 16.
Okay. It's called Inter Arma Enim Silent. I think it's Ledges.
Silent, yeah, good
Ledges.
enough for me.
Yeah,
Good enough
it's
for me.
Latin. It means
In time of war, the
yeah.
law falls silent.
That's right.
That I
In time before
remember.
the law falls silent. Yep, that's it. Yep. Yeah. So basically, the summary is attending a medical conference on Romulus. Dr. Bashir becomes embroiled in an elaborate scheme devised by Section 31 as a way to ensure the Romulans remain on the side of the Federation alliance.
Mm.
This is a very Bashir heavy episode. It also
Mhm.
stars William Sadler, which I wasn't quite expecting. But
I thought I
yeah,
warned you.
yep,
I was sure I
I
warned you.
wasn't expecting it, and then I remembered. Oh yeah, wait, no, Charlie told me he was going to be in this. I love
Mhm,
William
mhm.
Sadler. He's
Oh, me
great
too.
in just
My
about
God.
everything.
Sure.
Um,
He was in the Mist, which we watched
he
this
was in The
recently.
Mist. Yeah, he was in Shawshank Redemption. He was
Yep.
in.
He's big with the Frank Darabont crowd,
Yeah,
his
he
stuff
is.
that he
He's
writes.
definitely
Yeah.
into the Frank Darabont crowd. Well, he has that troupe that he works with for the most part.
Right,
Always somebody.
which a lot of actors do for good or for bad. And again, you mentioned Kevin Smith, and I'm like, some of
Right.
his later films, I'm not a huge fan. But
Right, right,
regardless,
right. So William Sadler, this Sloane character, is this the first time we've seen him?
no, this is his second appearance. He
Okay,
appeared in the season 6 episode Inquisition,
okay,
in which he introduced himself, and it's a lot of cat and mouse and smoke and mirrors. So it's nothing is what it seems until the end of the episode.
okay.
Which again, this episode again tries to make it seem like all of that is not true, and it's just a lot of, like you said, smoke and mirrors and spy
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, I see that. The thing that really didn't get me with this is that the way they the way that they portray Section 31 in Discovery is really my introduction to Section 31, right? Like
Sure,
I didn't
yeah,
know a
that
lot
makes
about it.
sense.
So like for me, this was a little jarring because they were a little goofy with their whole like, hey, we're spies, let's do spy shit, and I was like, oh, all right.
Right.
So I mean, all right, fine. And then of course he ends up getting phasered, but it wasn't really him. Although at the
Right.
time when he got phasered, I thought, oh, this is how he turns into Death from Bogus Journey, right? Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh,
So,
could have always been. Could have always been.
always has been, right?
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, another great William Sadler role, right? I love
Now,
that.
didn't he? We just watched Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
he back? Wasn't he back for that?
yeah, he came
Seems
back for
like,
that one.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
And I mean, I just that movie was super goofy. But anyway,
yeah,
regardless, not to get too
yeah.
far off a path.
No, this also has Adrian Barbeau in it.
Oh my God, Adrian Barbeau.
Adrian
Actually,
Barbeau.
and she was actually taking over the role of Senator Kretak that was introduced at the beginning of this season 7 of DS9, which is just that's my chef's kiss to DS9.
So
The
I've seen her before. This
Yeah,
character.
yes, the character. If you would have watched episodes 1 and 2 of season 7,
Okay.
which was Cisco, he had the crisis of spirit after Jadzia died. He went back to Earth, and then Ezri Dax, who's the new Dax, shows up, and then he figures out he needs to go on a quest to find the orb of the emissary. Does this sound at all familiar?
No, but
Okay, then
that trill is supposed to be Dax. That trill that was in this episode is Dax.
no,
Oh,
no. Sorry. The character, Senator Kretak, was played when you said, oh, I recognize her. In those 2 episodes I referenced, she's played by the same actress who's kind of a quasi androgynous actress that you saw as one of the Janai in the TNG episode The Outcast, which we talked about
oh
sometime a
yeah.
few episodes ago. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought you meant. But now we're completely off topic.
No,
So
that's
I'm
okay.
gonna steer it right back.
Okay. Over on Memory Alpha, the original um uh
Actress who
Kretak,
played Kretak.
yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't look quite like Adrian Barbeau's character, so I'm not sure why I feel like I've seen this character before. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and the actresses really don't so much look like each other, and have no.
And the
Yeah,
makeup's not really that similar
yeah,
either, you know?
Megan Cole is the name of the original actress, and then
Right.
Adrian Barbeau took over the role for this episode, which was her the final appearance of the character
Yeah, right,
for obvious
yeah.
reasons.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian
Whoops.
Barbeau, she's a great actor, man. I liked her a
Oh,
lot. She's been in
absolutely.
stuff
Yeah.
like I mean, she was in, Swamp Thing. Do you remember Swamp Thing?
Yes.
Sh That was
Oh, do I
fantastic.
ever?
And
Yeah.
she was married to John Carpenter. I don't know if she still is, but she was married to John Carpenter, and
Oh.
so, she's been in a lot of his stuff, like, just over the course of well, maybe not a lot. I'm trying to think.
Well,
She was
let's see.
definitely was she in Creepshow? She was definitely
She
in,
she
The
does have a
Fog.
she does have a hot link.
She was in Escape
Let's see
from New
here.
York. She was in Escape from New York. That one,
Great
I
flick.
love that movie. Yeah.
Gotcha. Looks like she was actually originally slated to have the role of Ardra in the TNG episode "The Devil's Due," which is, I think, a great episode, which
Okay.
was itself adapted from a scrap script from Star Trek Phase Two, which was going to be the
Oh,
original
yeah.
return to Star Trek to TV prior Star Trek the Motion Picture. Now we're absolutely off track, so I probably should shut up.
But anyway, I've always loved Adrian Barbeau. She's fun. She's been in a lot of like John Carpenter stuff, and so that's why. If anybody knows me, they know I love John Carpenter. I don't think the man can do any wrong, and so seeing her in this was kind of a neat little thing. So yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah.
So, other thoughts about the episode? Things you liked, things you thought were terrible?
Okay, so I mean, I don't want to just go on terrible like tangents or whatever, but I
No, it's
thought that
okay. You know what is it that the kids say? Speak your truth.
speak
Speak
your
your
truth.
truth.
Okay, so what I did okay, so seeing a Voyager class ship. What's that ship?
Oh,
What's that
the
class again?
Intrepid class.
Intrepid class. I
That
love that
that
Intrepid class.
that fired my engine when I
Yeah.
first saw this back in '99. Because again, this was halfway through the final season, and only a few episodes. The last 10 episodes of DS9 are a single arc,
Yeah.
a single unbroken story arc, which is just, oh dude. I
Right.
mean, if you I told you this morning that, like, oh, start at the season finale of season 5 and just watch season 6 and 7. If
Right.
you had to pare that down to its bare essence, watch the last 10 episodes of the series.
Okay.
Really from this point, because this kind of gives you a good, like, the war's going on and there's this different stuff happening and the Romulans or blah blah blah. You could jump forward. I think it's, oh god, I can't remember the name of the episode. You could jump forward just a couple of episodes and you could knock out these 10. Hold on, I will find it while we're talking.
Okay.
But you could, yeah, you could watch just these last 10 and it would really cement things for you. I'm saying. But anyway,
Interesting.
um
Okay. Yeah.
but
So
regardless,
did they use Voyager sets on the inside of that? I mean, they look
yeah, yes,
familiar.
yeah. So I was saying it was 100% Voyager sets, because we saw the observation lounge on the bridge, and then through the
Yeah.
door you saw the bridge, because I think Bashir came and went through the door.
Yeah. Yep.
I love deck one of the Intrepid class, and I've looked at, and again, it's somewhat apocryphal, but I've looked at a blueprint of it. You have the bridge, and you notice how over by the op station where Harry Kim stands,
Yeah.
there's a hallway that you see people pop out of. Well, that hallway follows down around to another turbo lift, but there's a couple of offices back there. There's a small mess hall. There's an airlock at the back. There's 2 or 3 escape pods. I mean, that's a cool deck one.
Yeah.
That's not just like, here's the bridge and that's it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
There's a bunch of fun stuff in the mix with it. Oh, okay. So if you jump forward just 2 episodes to episode 17, is called Penumbra, and it is the first in the arc of the final chapter, 9 episodes. Yeah,
Okay.
if you look at, the final, I will even send you the link.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That is my, yeah. If you just want to have something on while you're doing other stuff, just to give you kind of a primer, but go back and take a deeper dive at a later point. I would say that is what you want to do. There we go. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Okay.
Penumbra.
Okay.
Penumbra.
All right. No, I think the other thing that really stuck with me was the never say die
Yeah.
commentary, which
Mhm.
I think it's is it Kretak that says that's an odd expression or something like that,
Right,
or
exactly.
that's a
Yeah.
weird thing to say, and he says
Right.
it's from an Earth poem, and it basically never say die, or it's from the Merchant of Venice or whatever.
Right,
I
exactly.
thought that was cool. I always like when they bring Shakespeare in to
Well,
Star
I mean,
Trek
and
because
I've
I'm a
al
Shakespeare nerd
yeah.
as well. So,
Me too. I mean, I took a Shakespeare class one of my final semesters when I was at Michigan State,
oh, very cool.
and I've always loved it for that reason. But Star Trek, to my regard, has always been likened to the Shakespeare in space.
Right,
Because
right.
they're epic characters, they're epic tragedies, settings, and a morality play, life lessons, things delivered, this and that. So I've always correlated the two. And then, of course, you have, of course, Picard's love and frequent quoting of
Yeah,
Shakespeare, not only from the famous meme where you see him standing on the bridge, he's going,
yeah,
and then why the F does blah, 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 that's
yeah,
going underneath
yeah.
it. And then you have, boy, it was in a very early episode with where Q attempts to entice Riker to join the Continuum. And you have that exchange between Q and Picard in Picard's ready room where he quotes back. And again, I remember the verse, but I don't know that I remember from what play it is. What a piece of work is man is from what Shakespeare's
What a
play.
piece of work is man.
How
Uh,
noble in reason, how infinite in faculty.
right. I think that's. I'm pretty sure that's Hamlet, isn't it?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know if he. I don't know. I feel like that might have been referenced. I'd have to look at the script. It might have been referenced, but Shakespeare was referenced. So
yeah.
I love that because that is also my favorite musical is Hair, and that is a song in Hair where they sing the contents of that. So I correlate the two. So anyway,
So
now I'm
Hair is your favorite musical?
absolutely,
All
and I
right,
and
right
I
on.
and I'm somewhat. I saw a full nude production of it when I was 15 here in Grand Rapids, which is very, particularly at the time, very Bible belty. So that was an eye opening experience in more ways than one. But I
Damn
digress.
hippies. All right.
Oh my goodness. So
Full
so
nude
yeah.
production.
So
Wow. All right.
so anyway, yeah. Thanks for partaking of this
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
episode and kind of putting yourself in my hands and saying, "Hey, give me an episode and I'll watch it."
I like it.
Uh,
I like it. I mean,
so
there's only one way I'm going to be able to realize what I'm missing with DS9, and that is to see what the peaks are instead of like, diving through the valleys to get there.
Right,
So
exactly. Which is exactly I'll tease what I'm going to be putting Paul through when we get back here
nice,
in this
nice.
next episode. So, with that, we're winding down. Let's do two things, Rich.
Yeah,
Since you're taking a little a cesura or a pause, as they say in music, I learned
yeah.
that from a movie. I learned that from a movie too. It was Eddie and the Cruisers.
Eddie and the
Since you're taking
Cruisers.
what a great flick! And Joey Pants
Oh God.
from Sopranos is one of the starring characters. Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah.
Boy, we're all over the place. But anyway, Rich, since you're taking this little pause, talk to them about what you currently do. And I know that you can't talk about, you can't unveil what you have planned, but I would tell people about what you do now in case they don't know.
Sure, sure. Well, yeah, we do two podcasts right now. I have one. It's a movie review podcast. It's called The View from the Couch. It's the title is actually a wink to my old days as a reporter for my college newspaper,
Oh, I
and
remember those days
I did,
myself.
yeah, and I did a movie review column there, and it was, it's a play on my last name. My last name's Davenport. Davenport is a
Hmm.
couch. It's a view from me, but it's also a view from sitting on the couch watching a show, right, or a
Cool.
movie. So, View from the Couch is a movie review show. I typically do that with my wife, but she is on a hiatus herself right now. So I've actually had,
A Seshura.
yeah, so sure, there you go. So and so I've been doing episodes with people that I know, people that I respect their opinion on film. So it's
Aw.
been, and then there's Charlie, and I'm just,
No, come on now.
I'm kidding, I'm
That's
kidding.
not
No,
that's
so
not very nice.
so I've had Charlie on, I've had Todd Oxtra on, Charlie's cohort over at Secret Friends Unite,
Ah, that
and
guy.
then that guy, and then I've had Aaron on there, our former co-host here. I've had Paul on there a couple times. I've got my one of my best friends from high school, Rich Vasquez, on there. We're talking about just recent movies, and we just go over all kinds of fun stuff there. And then
Right.
we have Great Disturbances, which is our Star Wars show. That's the one that Paul and I do. If you want a taste of what you can expect from Paul, he's a very introspective guy. You should listen to some of Great Disturbances. He comes up with a lot of interesting things to say about stuff that you might not think would have interesting things to say in Star
Mhm.
Wars, in the Star Wars, realm. But you can expect stuff like that when he guests on this show. He's a very introspective person, like I said, and he's very intelligent. Um,
Very much so.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can
yeah, yeah.
find those on pretty much
Yeah.
anywhere you get podcasts. You can find those. You can follow us on Twitter with at view_couch or at G disturbances. And that's my pitch. We have other stuff coming, but again, I can't really talk about it just yet. We'll probably be bowing that end of November is where we're looking at right now.
I was going to say, and I will be very happy to bring you back on, even if it's for a moment, just to plug the shit out of it.
Oh, hell yeah, that'd be great, man.
Yeah. Well, because again, you're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the 0 and number 1 issues of Mirror War,
right?
And we'll see if we can't make that coincide. So, well, with that, Rich, it's your final opportunity for at least a little while to do the outro. So I am not going to stand in your way.
I will take care of that. For more information about Starfleet International, which is a great organization, I might add, please visit the USS Grand Petoskey and the Region 13 Facebook pages.
And I was asked and very honored to step up and become co-vice regional coordinator of our Region 13 yesterday, which puts me in a position to work with Aaron, puts me in a position to work with Rich on finding ways to enhance the member experience within Region 13 of Starfleet International, which includes Michigan and Eastern Canada. So please reach out to please. Yeah. Well, so go ahead.
For now, it includes only Eastern Canada. We're going to try. We're going to get all over. We're looking.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. You think we could take over all of the North?
Let's do it.
Oh, we'll build that big wall. Wasn't that the big wall in the Game of Thrones? I mean, I watched that show in passing. Other people are crazy about it. I'm like, yeah. So anyway, but regardless, friends, as always, thank you for joining us, Rich. Thank you for being my dude. I mean, thank you for putting yourself in my hands. I'm very grateful. Friends, thank you again for the third time for joining us. I'm going to tell you, as always, that sharing is caring. And to keep on trekking.
Guys, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Live long and prosper. Code 47 is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for our great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, or the podcast platform of your choice. If you would like to be part of the conversation, visit our new Discord server, or join us on Facebook, or follow us at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends on YouTube, and don't forget to visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.